What's good with y'all, man? It's your boy David. We're back with another reaction video. Today we are reacting to the worst time travel movie just in general. I don't know. I don't really watch a lot of time traveling movies. The only one I really ever watched was Back to the Future. And I didn't even really watch that for I kind of just looked at it while it was playing on my screen. But this video is by Pointless Hub. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. If you haven't done what to react to, leave it in the comments down below. Let's get straight to it.
Time travel. Time travel is messy. Time travel is hard to write. If you include time travel in any story, you're just inviting the audience to dissect it. Like
That's what I'm saying, bro. Especially like with the grandfather paradox, like and all that type of shit. Like, bro, if even Rick and Morty didn't even touch time travel, like they literally made it a whole point. They were like, we're not touching time travel. We're only dealing with dimensions in space, but not time. I was like, okay.
frog. That plot better be airtight, or else someone is gonna exploit the cracks and this whole plane is coming down.
Yep.
There's common sense rules when it comes to time travel, right?
But I want to say, I think my favorite time travel movie, it's not really a time travel movie, but it does have to do with time and shit like that. Tenet, oh my god. Even though it's not 100% explained and like straightforward, it's like still a very good movie. It's a 10 out of 10 watch.
Simple stuff like, don't kill your own grandpa or you won't exist. Don't do anything Marty McFly did in Back to the Future. Don't go back in time to stop something from happening,
because that'll lead to the butterfly effect and then you just didn't exist ever again. Or the world is a nuclear apocalypse or some shit.
because if it never happens, then you'd never have to go back in time in the first place, which means that you didn't stop it from happening, which creates a paradox.
And the only way that paradox can be resolved is if what you just did made a separate timeline. So one timeline is still happening and then another timeline is still happening. That's the only way that can be resolved, or else the paradox in the universe collapses in on itself and explodes.
So the universe explodes. We have these narrative rules, and that's
Yep.
cool and all, but time travel is really just a storytelling device at the end of the day. The point of Terminator isn't that robots are creating a paradox by trying to kill Sarah Connor. The point of Terminator is, he's big and scary. Time travel stories are about the storytelling, the characters, the theme. And if a movie is good enough, it just feels really lame to point out the inconsistencies. Luckily, the Tomorrow War sucks.
Damn, that nigga cannot hit a shot, bro. What the fuck? I mean, I know he's holding that heavy ass rifle in one hand, but god damn, brother. Nigga do not got aim like a gun range. He cannot shoot.
Amazon Prime original The Tomorrow War is a 2021 sci-fi thriller starring Chris Pratt that you probably forgot existed until clicking on this video. It's not the worst movie ever made. If you like PG-13 action slop, then there's something here for you. It has decent acting, some relatable moments. It certainly looks expensive, but as a movie whose entire plot revolves around time travel, it is incomprehensible.
Hey, I can fly!
When I say The Tomorrow War is the worst time travel movie, I mean that it is the worst time travel movie. The plot of this movie is about people coming from the future to take people from the past to fight in a war to save the future.
Well, that sucks.
Now, right off the bat, you might have a question. Like, if they send people from the past into the future, wouldn't that change the future in a lot of ways? That's a good question.
That they never answer? Okay.
The Tomorrow War begins in December 2022, where we meet John Mario, an everyday veteran rocking the suburbs. Everyone is watching the World Cup during Christmas because FIFA is corrupt and awarded the games to Qatar, where the audience would have fried to death if this was the summer.
Oh my god, it's like standing on the sun!
During the most important moment of the match, a bunch of people spawn in to ruin everything, like the world's most expensive streaker.
Did I watch this movie? What the fuck? This shit looks mad familiar. Nah, I ain't watched this lame ass shit.
They say they're from the future year of 2051, and say that in 30 years, everyone will be wiped out by alien monster
Right, because everybody dies in the future. Yep, of course.
bugs. So many have died, in fact, that they now have to draft us, I guess. Buenos Aires has been wiped off the map, so you better do your part to save Super Earth. It's quite the premise. It's interesting, that's for sure, but so was rubber, and that was about a tire that made people's heads explode. There's really just so much to unpack here. For one, everyone just immediately accepts this. The movie has a time skip going from this lady telling everyone they're from the future to a year later, where apparently the world's governments just believed them at their word.
I mean, they kind of did fall out of the sky and like this whole goddamn light show shit. I might low-key believe them too. I ain't gonna lie, respectfully, but still, it's ass. But yeah.
We are you. 30 years in the future.
The next year.
12 months ago, we had no idea how those words would change everything about our daily lives.
Why the hell would anyone go along with this? This would be seen as the biggest hoax, a government psyop, a promotional stunt for Amazon. Even if the governments believed the future people, it's not like your average person would. Normal people have never seen what the monsters even look like. The future people intentionally don't show people what the monsters are before they're deployed.
The consensus.
So they don't get scared and puss out. Cause them goddamn monsters look scarier than a bitch, boy. What the hell? Them's like some aliens out of Aliens X Predator, but they're just albino and just, I don't know, bro. But them hoes look scary as hell. I would not fight that.
This was that if the public saw what they'd face when they reached the future, it would become virtually impossible to fill that hunger.
How did anyone believe them? Did they whip out the sports almanac and say the Tigers are gonna win the World Series? Whatever it was convincing enough.
And them saying that would have fucked up the future too. What the hell?
To get the whole world on board, really on board. Every country set their differences aside and sent their entire militaries into the future where they didn't come back.
Those hopes were dashed as only a handful of troops survived.
What?
What? Between this Christmas party and the time skip, every military on
Nigga, nobody came back? What the fuck? That's crazy, bruh.
Earth died in the future. So many troops have died, they are now drafting civilians. The survival rate is 30%.
Stop exploding, you cowards!
How does any of this work? It would be anarchy. Granted, there are riots and protests, sure, but how did everyone sit back and watch as every military personnel disappeared into a random portal and just never came back? Did they collectively shrug and go, "Ah, that sucks. Guess we're getting conscripted now"? Civilization would break down. Whoever voted to send people into the future would be immediately voted out of office. Even if the military took over, they
Would they? Oh no, would they really? With the way politics is looking like now in the United States, would they, bro? For would they? I don't know. It's kind of hard to believe that people that vote make good decisions at all. So I don't know. I mean, look at the guy running the fucking country right now. I mean, I don't think people make good decisions at all, if I'm being honest. They might not even give a fuck. They might actually vote to send more niggas to die. If I'm being honest, I ain't gonna lie, so I don't know. I don't know.
wouldn't accept these casualty rates. They would just refuse to send people to go die. These casualty numbers are only acceptable if the enemy is literally at the gates, not in some vague future 30 years from now. People don't think that far ahead. Most politicians don't even think a year in the future. The Tomorrow War in the first few minutes introduces a premise so fundamentally flawed.
Oh, what the actual fuck? They had them falling out the sky like that? That is trash! That nigga broke his back on impact. What the fuck? That's trash.
Fucks up how humans even work. I'm kind of glad this is so stupid and over the top though, because it's really a great example of how the Tomorrow War's writing works. The movie wants the premise of
everybody celebrating, having a good time. Yeah, the cavalry's here. Nigga, the cavalry gets fucking slammed. Like, oh, that's funny.
untrained civilians that get transported into the future. But the only way that works is if the army isn't fighting the monsters. And the only way the army isn't fighting the monsters is if they're all dead. Therefore, every military in the world has to be wiped out before the story even begins, so Chris Pratt can fight a bunch of Cloverfield monsters with Gale the Snail.
She's mashing it.
B must happen, therefore A. Even if A doesn't make a lick of sense, this is going to be a running theme. Hi, I'm Bill Billions, money guy with the money. Do you know why I have so much money? Because I budget. How do I budget? Well, I track what I spend with Rocket.
Damn, boy, shout out to them niggas.
Subscribe. I even had money with Rocket Money stolen before my own men them. Cheers with. I gotta go. Guardians of the Galaxy is a high school science teacher who just can't get his students motivated. They're just all so sad because the world will end in 30 years. Who needs science? They're all gonna die anyway.
School, grades, college, it's all bullshit. We lose.
One, I find it really
Hey, no cap. Yeah, I do lose. Y'all lose bad, nigga.
funny they're just now bringing this up a year into the conflict. Like nobody ever discussed this after the army was wiped out. Anyway, Zero Dark 30 gets drafted since it turns out he's a potential time travel candidate. Apparently, the only way to be a time travel candidate is if you are dead in the future. Because if there were two of you at the same time, that would create a
You would just implode. I don't know. Fuck it.
paradox, of course. And we can't have that, even though this entire movie is fucking paradoxes. Garfield's gonna die in 7 years, so he's good to go. The way the future people run the whole operation is just baffling.
That's so sad to know that you die, so you get drafted because you die. Oh my fucking god, I'll be sick. But I mean, you all die in 30 years, so it is what it is.
To be honest. These draftees have to wear the clothes off their backs and are given like 5 minutes of training with a gun. Andy Dwyer's group gets even less training because somehow the future is in trouble. Like an alarm.
But this shit could even happen today. This is a meat grinder. I don't think that they just send dudes to die. Like most of the time they don't just send people to die. But this is very meat grindery. They wouldn't do this.
Goes off because something bad is happening. So the past people.
300,000 people dying. 300,000 soldiers dying. That's fucking that's insane. That's insane.
To get transported right now.
The research facility is under attack. If it's lost, the war is lost.
Did you not have anyone else better as reinforcements other than these people? Is there nobody else in America? Everyone gets dropped into the future with nothing more than a gun and a peck on the cheek. And I do mean dropped, literally. The future people fuck up the wormhole somehow, so all these people get teleported.
They're so goddamn underprepared. Like, they fucking up the wormhole and shit. Nothing's going through. Niggas is breaking their backs because they're falling from the fucking sky. This nigga barely survived because he fucking fell into a pool. Like, bruh, this crazy.
1,000 feet in the air and plummet to their death.
Ooh.
Whoops. Maybe this is why the casualty rate is so high. Maybe
it's because they're stupid. It's because they're dumb.
It's not even the monsters. These guys are just incompetent. The way they talk about the aliens, you kind of figure this is an Independence Day situation. Some advanced civilization laid waste to the cities. But no, the aliens are really just monsters. These are the white spikes. They just shoot spikes out of their tails. As much as I do think these designs are creepy and their introduction was pretty well done, I'll give the movie credit. I can't praise them too much because we have really seen these designs done over and over again. These are just the Cloverfield babies mixed with a cat, mixed with a xenomorph. Even though their concept is kind of derivative and generic, they're the best part of the movie. Mario and friends have to
that's crazy how the most generic shit ever is the best part of the movie. That's how you know your shit trash. That's how you know your shit is terrible. Like, what the fuck? Oh my god. Damn near hundreds of, probably tens of millions of dollars into that movie. The best part is generic white aliens. We're firing the whole staff. Y'all niggas are done.
Save some scientists at Black Mesa, or else all hope will be lost. In true Black Mesa fashion, all the scientists are dead. So now our gang has to go and fight through the ruins to get some really important research that will save humanity before the military bombs the city for some reason.
Why?
Could they not just call off the bombs? No? Okay. If there's only 500,000 humans left, and as we learn later, the most important place is in the middle of the ocean. Why did they even have this important research station in the middle of Miami? Why were you people still here? Anyway, after nearly being team killed, Stomping Koopas wakes up and finds out that the mission commander, the one in charge of this whole operation, is actually his daughter. Ooh. I don't know how to put this very lightly.
I mean, I guess. Fuck it. Yeah, whatever. It's just whatever, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. Fuck it. It's his daughter. Shout out to him.
But, his daughter's kind of stupid. The movie doesn't say she's stupid, of course. She's actually a genius in this world. She even invented the wormhole machine. But this world is stupid, and this movie is stupid. So what it considers clever and smart is actually...
It's actually dumb as fuck. Yeah, I know.
Dumb and wrong. She tells him that she brought him here for a reason. To bring back a poison that will kill the aliens when they eventually arrive.
I didn't in any way bring you here because I wanted to spend time.
Okay, so then you bring him back. He gets the poison. He poisoned the aliens, but then the future never happens. So they never get sent to the future. So, boom, black hole because this. So boom, the universe collapses into a black hole because nothing makes fucking sense. What are we doing here? Like, yo, this is ass.
With my father, I brought you here for a reason.
Which, no she didn't. He was just randomly selected to be drafted. The whole process seemed very impersonal and routine, in fact, because he was just one of many sent to the front. The army people...
Shit, honestly, he could have fucking died from that first drop. Shit, he could have fucked around and hit a building and cracked his head open like a walnut. Boom, and just that'd have been it. He'd been dead.
Been asked if he had any kids. They didn't know who he was.
You want us to verify exactly who your family is?
She's mad because sometime in the future from 2021, not future, Chris Pratt gets so mad he doesn't get a promotion, he divorces his wife, and dies in a car crash. You see, Chris Pratt's dad, J.K. Simmons, abandoned Chris Pratt when he was a child because of Vietnam. So, of course, in the bad future, Chris...
Hey, what the fuck are these clips, bro? Hey, that car crash clip is fucking hilarious, bro. Like, yeah. Oh, shit, that shit funny.
Pratt will abandon his family too, because it's like poetry. Omni-Man left assumingly when Chris Pratt was a child. But Chris Pratt really doesn't abandon his family. It just sounds like him and her mom got a divorce when she was 14. The movie's going, see, it's the same thing, but it's really not. Not at all.
I know for a fact I would never leave you.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So they capture an alien queen for the thrill of the hunt and bring her back to Big Shell from Metal Gear Solid 2. The two slowly bond over science, like you do. And they get so wrapped up in family bonding, well, wouldn't you know it, they just forget to resedate the alien queen sleeping in the corner, allowing the monster to cull the swarm and kill—
Man, it called its niggas, bro, and then it swarmed the whole fucking base. Oh my god.
Everybody. This giant f***up is never reflected on by the movie ever again. Daughter dies, Chris Pratt goes back to his own time, and the aliens break the time machine. There's no getting back to the future. This is the movie's obligatory all is lost moment, for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, sure, you can't return to the future anymore, but that world's pretty much gone anyway. Chris Pratt has the toxin. He could just go to, like, a military figure or someone in the government and say, hey, I have this toxin that kills them. We should save it for when the aliens show up. My daughter died for this. But nope, he doesn't. He just goes.
So what the fuck does he do? I mean, that's the most responsible thing to do. That would be like some of the best writing I've ever seen. Oh, my daughter died for the poison. I'm gonna go use this poison to go kill the alien so that my daughter's death is not in vain. So what could he possibly fucking do next? What the fuck could he do next?
Home. He tells his wife about his grand day out. Okay, so everybody seems to know that the aliens first appeared in Russia in 2048, right? Nobody knows where they came from. There's no satellite footage of them arriving in 2048, and nobody saw them come down like the Autobots and Transformers. It's all a big mystery. All they know is that the aliens appeared in Siberia, and that was it. So his wife figures the whole thing out.
Just because they attacked in 2048 doesn't mean that's when they got here.
Holy shit.
She has had nothing to do with the story this entire time. She has had no unique information compared to anyone else in this world.
Okay.
All she does is use common sense to think that maybe, just maybe, the aliens arrived before 2048. Nobody on the entire planet.
You know, and mind you, there's literal scientists in the military niggas who do that shit for a living, and none of them, not a single one, thought about that. Okay.
In the present,
Who wrote this shit? We gotta. Who wrote that? That's terrible. That's trash. Oh my god. That's hot shit. That's hogwash. That's hot ass. Oh my god.
or future ever once thought that the aliens could have arrived before 2048. You know what this means, right? It means all of this was pointless. If the future people had just pieced together
Nigga snapped his back for nothing, bruh.
the information they were given about the aliens for like 5 seconds, they would have thought to use their fucking time machine to go back and search for the aliens in Russia. Instead, they used their time machine
To go back to the past to bring people to the future to fight in the future? What a monumental waste of time and resources. That shit is ass. That's terrible.
to draft their grandparents and send them into the future to be eaten by Cloverfield monsters. Maybe all that brain rot really did take its toll on the Zoomers. Speaking of really bad plans, the whole end of this movie. So they find the alien ship, right? Chris Pratt and the gang all prep to end the alien threat once and for all. It does not go well. They kill a few of them, sure, but the Queen escapes. So Chris Pratt has to fight her to the death. Because this is a movie, it comes down to the last second, and he wins, of course, saves the world, all that good stuff. But think of how unimaginably reckless this is. They could have just sent in some special forces or something, told the military, but they didn't because, and I'm not even joking here, the government is too embroiled in bureaucracy.
Go tell the UN and they can talk about it till we're all dead.
Our heroes blow up the alien spaceship and kill the Queen.
I'm not saying the governments of the world don't have bureaucracy issues. They definitely do, but be so fucking for real. That is the most unrealistic shit ever. They would have sent a strike team immediately, bro.
The movie ends with Chris Pratt happy that he saved the future, which means that the war never happened. You see the issue with that too, right?
Yeah, so then why the fuck did he go in the first place if it never happened? Trash.
For a movie about time travel, we never learn how this timeline actually works. Is there just one timeline? That wouldn't
Or is there multiple? There's gotta be multiple. Cause like,
really makes sense. All these people were told they were gonna die before the 2050s, just like Chris Pratt. They're gonna die from stuff like cancer or choking on a chicken nugget, but then they don't die from that stuff. They actually all die in 2051 from alien monsters, or getting dropped from the battle bus without a parachute. So many people don't come back to the present to live their lives. There's no death certificate for them. So in that case, where did these certificates come from? How can the army learn how and when someone will die enough to deny them that information? In fact,
How do I die?
Can't share that information, sir.
if that person is just gonna get killed in future Miami anyway, there has to be multiple timelines here, right? Even if the movie doesn't say, there's no way this is a single timeline. That'd just break my brain. The only thing I can think of is that these records come from a timeline where the future people didn't go back in time. An unaltered, pure timeline without the war. Which means that these army people aren't getting records from the future, they're getting records from their own past that's in an entirely different
timeline. Oh my fucking god, there's gotta be that's what I'm saying. There's gotta be separate timelines, because one timeline makes no fucking sense.
Their own timeline. Which means there is no way the people from the past and the people from the future share the same timeline. Like, these are not people fighting for the future. In fact, these two groups are not related to each other at all. The future people had histories with entirely different people who lived and died before the aliens. And the past people will have kids that won't fight alien monsters.
At all.
Really, for the people of the 2020s, they are simply fighting a war in an alternate reality that is already lost. Was this the intended way that time travel was meant to work? I don't know. It's something that kind of makes sense, I guess, once you dissect it. multiple alternate universes affecting one another and creating new timelines, but the movie never once tries to clarify any of it. In fact, this just seems like one singular timeline. From what we're given by the text alone, every day, every hour in the world of the Tomorrow War, the future people are creating paradoxes that would utterly annihilate the reality of any other universe. The only way I could...
So why did they go back in the first place? I don't even understand. Like, this is like, obviously they expect you to suspend the disbelief when you're watching a movie. Obviously, that's like the whole point of movies. Wow, Superman can fly. What the fuck? Nobody on Earth can fly. That's crazy. It's really cool for the movie, but we can't let this egregious ass, shitty ass writing slide. This is terrible. All the shit that happened cannot happen on one timeline. This can only happen if there are two diverging timelines, where one timeline the war is lost against the aliens, in another timeline the war is won. Like, that timeline that went to the past, to the other timeline on that is parallel to it, they lose. They fucking lose. So what are they doing? Okay.
Rationalize the plot was by inserting my own ideas into the film. Is it canon? Is it not? Who's to say? I kinda hope I'm wrong, because it would make this entire thing way funnier. Director Chris McKay had a few things to say about the time travel itself.
You've written some lazy, sloppy ass shit when you're telling niggas don't think about it too much. But you know what's funny? I can't even say all that because I love Tenet a lot, and Christopher Nolan did say don't think about it too much. So I can't even say. But he wrote Tenet better though. Tenet made more sense than this shit did. I'm not gonna lie.
He said a lot of things, but the real gist was don't think about it.
If he goes to a briefing on time travel, he gets a little bit of some briefing about the way time travel works, but then he's off. We can't explain to you all the principles of flight. You're just gonna get in this plane and we're gonna take off and we're gonna see how far we can get.
That would be fine in most movies. You don't need to have the time travel be flawless for a movie to be good. But if time travel is central to the plot, it at least has to make sense. Instead, we're left with a timeline so utterly incomprehensible, its own director simply hand waves away any thought about it.
Really?
Nigga said common sense to the wind. Shit making sense to the wind. Knowledge, wisdom, anything about time travel, knowing anything about time travel in any meaningful way so this plot of this film can actually work and make sense to the wind.
Since the movie also isn't one of those movies where the time travel mechanics are used in the solving of the problem of the movie, I also felt like we don't need to necessarily explain.
But really,
then what if the time traveling is not a part of the solution, what the fuck are they doing it for in the first place? This just keeps making me ask, who's in these writing rooms? Are they qualified to be in there? I don't know, man.
You know, at the end of the day, the Tomorrow War is about family. It's about Chris Pratt learning not to leave them.
This movie is somewhat of a character study of Chris Pratt's character. So,
in the end, he learns to see what was right in front of him all along.
And not leave his wife or divorce his wife so his daughter doesn't grow up with trauma. Shout out Chris Pratt. We love you, man.
Because my best future, it turns out, was always right in front of me.
It's so weird that the movie acts like this was some major character flaw for him to overcome. He loses a job opportunity, I guess, but none of what's established here implies he hates his life over it.
You never seemed happy with your life.
There was no tension early on between him and his wife. He loves his daughter. He seems very content. So when the movie says he leaves his family sometime in the future,
it's like artificial crisis. It's the artificial conflict, because from what we're seeing from the start, he fucks with his family. So why did he just leave them all of a sudden? That's some bullshit. Who wrote that? 1,000 Lashes.
It doesn't even feel like something his character would do. Chris Pratt is introduced as too good of a guy. This is not a man who would leave his family. He hates his dad openly for abandoning him as a kid. If the point of the movie was about this character and not the whole time travel war, then it should have planted seeds earlier on that showed he was on this path before getting deployed.
Or, in simpler terms, foreshadowing. We're not even asking you to be the greatest writer on earth. Just foreshadow a little bit. Make him and his wife argue or something. But no, they just randomly input, oh, you hated your family. This nigga's in the future. This nigga's in the future. She's telling him he hates his family in an alternate timeline. Be for real, bro. In fact, that alternate timeline doesn't even exist because according to this story, it's all in one linear timeline like this.
I thought if anything, the war was gonna be the thing that changes Chris Pratt. You know, like how Vietnam changed his dad. It's like the movie almost makes a parallel. Like Chris Pratt is very visibly distraught coming home. And then it just drops it. Yeah, he's actually mentally fine. This did not affect him at all. From our perspective...
Yeah, watching people get fucking murdered by aliens, like with fucking bone needles, didn't affect him at all. And watching people fall out of the sky to their death because they fucked up the wormhole didn't affect them, not in the slightest at all.
Chris Pratt is the same...
Being sent to literally die didn't affect him at all.
At the start as he is at the end. The Tomorrow War wants to be a time travel movie that you don't think about, so you can watch action you've seen countless times before with characters you don't care about at all. Maybe I'm being too harsh though. This is an Amazon original after all. War of the Worlds was an Amazon original, and I called that the best movie ever made.
My own son is hacking the government.
It's not like this even got that bad of reviews. 6 out of 10? 50%? That's not the worst thing. Yeah, that's true. This is a decent movie for a streaming service. But here's the thing, it wasn't meant for streaming.
What?
That's right.
That was gonna go to theaters?
Tomorrow War was meant for theater.
Stop fucking playing. Stop fucking playing. That's actually crazy because you know what's funny? That new Avatar movie where Aang and them was supposed to be in theaters, Paramount Plus put that shit on fucking streaming. That movie was good as hell. I'm not gonna lie. I watched that shit. It was good as a motherfucker. I would have loved to see that in theaters. No cap. It was good. It was beautiful. And the fact that this shit almost made it to theaters, sick. Sickening.
This was made by Paramount. It has a budget of $200 million.
200 million and nobody could write a decent fucking plot? Trash.
This was intended to be big, but then, well, you know, with movie theaters closed and the future unclear, the Tomorrow War was sold to Amazon, where it was promoted to death and released K-pop Demon Hunter style. Was it a success? I mean, maybe. A lot of people watched it, and many reacted with a collective meh. This is decent as second screen material while playing Animal Crossing. Something you would have on and then just like never think about again. Hell, 2021 was certainly a gas leak year because even when I first watched this, I didn't even think it was that bad. I even watched it wanting to make a video, but I didn't because I didn't think it was funny enough to talk about. What was wrong with me? I think I just really went in with low expectations. I expected something horrific, and this movie is just not that. It's a decent Amazon Prime original, and I think that's what everyone else thought too. Even a few years ago, a big movie coming to streaming was a rarity. So it being an original that you could watch from your couch and turn your brain off really lowered the bar. And there's no better proof for that than the reviews. I'd say a lot of reviews went pretty easy on it.
They did. I'm not gonna lie. They talking about 3.5, 50 per. Like, oh my god, them niggas was giving that shit. They was giving that shit a participation trophy because it was 2020 and niggas had COVID. Oh my god.
Some were just downright insane. I would not call this a salute to working class heroism like Polygon did.
It's not that at all. They're dick riding. Actually, they're fucking dick riding. That's why I don't respect a lot of articles about movies and entertainment. They're dick riding. Because what is this? The Tomorrow's War is Chris Pratt's ultimate salute to working class heroism plus aliens. What? You're dick riding. I didn't even watch this movie, and I know you're dick riding, and I'm not gonna watch it because it looks like it's ass. I'm not gonna lie.
Or call Chris Pratt's character too blue collar. He's a science teacher fighting aliens.
Now, how is he blue collar in any sense of the word? That nigga's he's literally a science teacher. He's in a middle school. That's not blue collar work. Man, he dick riding. What the fuck?
The future, what the fuck are you talking about? There's arguments about whether the movie was too much about global warming or not enough about global warming. Most reviews just kind of accepted this as an original and nothing more. So I kind of wonder, what if this had been released as it was intended? Would the reception have been as positive? I don't think so. I think we as viewers go easy on something we don't actively pay money for. Maybe in the timeline where the virus didn't happen, the Tomorrow War was one of the biggest jokes of 2021. A sign of a dying industry. CGI slop meant for the lowest common denominator. In a normal time, this might have been a joke. In the 2021 we got, though, this was like the 10th most interesting thing of the month. Meh was really the best reception this project could have got. What I'm getting at here is that for the Tomorrow War, a global pandemic was the best thing that could have happened.
Well, that was a great video, man. I ain't gonna lie, great video. Shitty movie. Not gonna lie. But with that being said, make sure you like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. And I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Let me know what y'all thought about this movie, though, man. Honestly, from my point of view, trash. It's just ass. I don't know. It just seems like it's trash. Like CGI sloppy. It's sloppy CGI shit. Could have been maybe AI. We don't know. But yeah, man. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one. We out.